Shapes up to be a cracker here in the men's 3,000 metre championship race. They're two really quality fields, the men's and the women's races. And this is an exciting way to kick off proceedings here for the main events of the evening. Let's see who the early movers are as they work their way down the front for the first time. Decent pack coming through. No one really looking to shoot themselves right up at the front. Adam Pike on the far outside for Bankstown. They were about 34 or thereabouts, but you can see there's no huge injection of pace here. Connor Whiteley's out in lane 3. They're happy to run 4 and 5 wide up the back straight. Ben Thomas up there in the Randwick Botany colours early on, and some hands reaching out into the back. Stefan Music on the far outside with Connor Whiteley. So the names that you'd expect are up and about there. Pike for Bankstown. I think it's Cam Musgrove of the ACT in there as well. Jade Kitching of Coffs Harbour, relatively prominent, but they start to sort themselves out now, and we finally get a bit of an injection of pace from Stefan Music and the home club, Randwick Botany Harriers, at the front of this field. Josh Phillips of Sydney Striders, happy to run down the outside. Sam Clifford of Newstead also in there, thereabouts. And they run through 600 metres, and finally Music puts some pace into this race, and they run through 99 for the first 600 metres. So Music from Whiteley, and then Ben Thomas, Josh Phillips in there, along with Clifford of Newstead, and then Adam Pike, who's been a prominent player in these races for the last couple of years now. 67 the last time around. So we'll start to track the pace through this race. Jade Kitching just sitting off the back of this lead group of 6. And he's sort of leading this chase group in behind with Harry McGill and Luke Young. But there's a real break here now of this lead half dozen. And they're coming down to 1,000 metres now. They're going to be outside 8-minute pace in the early running here. Remember, 2:40 is what we're looking for there. But off the back of the slow first 200, they're not too far away. So still a sub-8 here, very much within reach as Music takes them through in about 2:42. But you'd think he's going to be looking for some help. Otherwise, he might just be dragging a bunch of them through. But you can see how quickly it dialed up. 32 through the first 200. 67 for the second 400, and then a 63. So Music really dialed it up that last 400 metres. Whiteley very happy just to take the sit here and be towed around to a position where he can go on with it and break that 8-minute barrier. Ben Thomas sitting in behind him as well, along with Phillips and Clifford. Adam Pike just starting to lose touch with what's now a lead pack of 5. But Pike more of a longer middle distance runner, so should have the strength late. Still early season for a lot of these guys, but a lead group of 5 here. The move's starting to come now. So Phillips around the shoulder of Whiteley and up onto the back of Music, and Clifford wants to go with him. Pace just dipping slightly to a 64 last time around. From the 63 they ran earlier. So Phillips now finds his way to the front. Whiteley sits on his back second, then Music and Clifford and Ben Thomas just trying to box on. So the host club, Randwick, have 2 in this lead group of 5. Phillips for Sydney Striders leads proceedings ahead of the All Whites, Sydney University's Connor Whiteley, and Newstead Athletics have Sam Clifford flying the flag for them, just sitting bang dead in the middle of this group of 5. So it'll be interesting to see if there's been any discussion here amongst the boys about the pace they're looking for, see if there's any working together at all. But the man you've got to say this is favoured throughout the run so far is Connor Whiteley, because he had Stefan Music doing all the work through that first 1,000, and now he's got Josh Phillips dragging him through this middle K. And he's just getting a lovely trail into this race, is Whiteley, as he was taken around in another 64 by Phillips. Coming up to the 2,000 now in about 5:22, 5:23, something like that. So 8 minutes is still on here, provided they keep this pace up. No space now to have a dropped lap. It has to be bang on pacing from here on out, and Phillips is doing his best on the front of the field to make sure that happens. I'll see 2 laps to go, a half mile as they hit the tape. They were 4:51 around last time, and it's just dipped again, about a 64 or thereabouts as they went through. 5:54, 5:55, something like that. How long does Whiteley wait here? Is he willing to let Phillips grind out another 100 or 2, or is he going to go for that sub-8? If they're going to go to try and get under, they're going to have to get on with it. And Sam Clifford of Newstead maybe has that in mind as he gets up onto the shoulder of Whiteley and works his way around up into second position. And onto the back of Phillips now. Whiteley doesn't seem to have an immediate response. The rubber band just starting to stretch a little bit. This is a huge run from Josh Phillips, who's taken over proceedings from about the 1,000-metre mark. But Clifford might be out to use that favour and just spoil his party. 3 in it with 450 to run. They're going to get the sound of the bell. Sub-8's on here, but they're going to have to close very, very quickly. Phillips at the front, 6:59. As they run through, it was a bang-on another 64. Can they close in 61 or under to break 8 minutes here at ES Marks at the 3K Championships? Phillips on the front. Clifford in second for Newstead. 2 in it. Whiteley's off the back. Unless he's got an enormous kick in the last 200, we've got a race of 2 out the front. Phillips and Clifford down the back straight for the last time. Crowd cheering them on here at ES Marks. 200 to run. They're on here for sub-8 if they can close. 7:30 on the clock. Real chance of getting under. Phillips seems to be going the better of them with 150 to run. Clifford trying to get onto the back of him. Rounding out into the straight now, and it's Sydney Strider's Josh Phillips with 7:45. This is going to be touch and go for sub-8. Has to close down the last 100 metres. It's still a chance here. Not a second to drop. Josh Phillips is going to be New South Wales champion, but all eyes on the clock. Can he get there? Dives at the line. Close. Hold for the time. Clifford second, Whiteley third. Those are your championship medals, but all eyes on the clock. Oh, 8:00:01. 1/100th of a second over the 8-minute barrier in a heartbreak for Josh Phillips, but take nothing away from the run. Picked up the lead after 1,000 and did all the work, and the poor bugger, despite closing in a 59.9 last 400 metres, will just miss the sub-8 minute barrier by 2/100ths of a second. Sam Clifford, second for Newstead in 8 flat 63. Whiteley third over the line, 8:05.